Today we look at a couple of elf folk. Now this isn't just two of the same thing, although it might be two of the same thing. It's supposed to be one light, one dark. I cannot tell from the box that there's a difference, except for this little sticker. So I guess to them, that's how they, hopefully, that's how they know. Now there is a flap on the front of this thing, so I could have, once I removed the outer plastic, I could have already known. Back of the box just says thank you for purchase, and then it's like, hey, heat up your stuff because it might be stiff, okay? Especially if it's cold weather, things like that. So let's open the flap of this one right here. Okay, open it up. Ew. Okay, 2 things of Velcro makes it very tight. Oh my goodness. All right, so that is some pretty cool looking armor, and the hair is falling off. That is a toupee, I would say. So this is most definitely the light fair-skinned version, and then this one should be a medium darker. It's barely darker. I mean, it's noticeably darker next to it, but it's not that much darker. Why can't we get like much darker options? Anyway, that's that. See you next time. Now this is the well, I guess this is, would we consider this one character, not second and third? But this is an elf that was reviewed previously on the channel. Also, this is just like a generic wired hoodie that you can get from like anywhere, Etsy, eBay, AliExpress, whatever. But I thought it was a cool addition to this figure. Also a very, very pale one. This, I forgot the scales, is a big time scale. These are 7-inch scale, which is huge. Elves are generally tall, but fairy elves are maybe tiny little floaty things. So are these 1-to-1 scale? All right, they have 3 forms apparently, because I guess the alternate hair plus the alternate, look at that, body in the back there. So let's open these things up and then get into it, because talking about boxes and comparing and making stupid jokes, what good does that do anybody? So you're like, I'm gonna watch this channel to see this thing, and who the hell is this guy? Some idiot. Yeah, I won't disagree with that. The card on the inside, which will be the same obviously in both of them, is just this very fairy background. And I'm not gonna look at it any closer than this, but I mean, everything's probably AI these days. That's probably AI. I mean, I would put money down that that's AI. That sucks. I did. You know what? We're just gonna start with the medium tone. We might not even need to look at both of them, but they're here for the sake of comparison. I ordered these from 5K Toys, so that's where you can get yours, probably. Links are down in the description of the video as always. And if you click on that, at some point you're watching this video and you're like, oh, I clicked that. And then it just takes you to like a 401 page, 404 page, 401, 404. It's probably because it's sold out. They don't have undergarments. Why? That's so weird. I mean, it's very Barbie. Some say that Mad Hatter, if you know that channel, they say that he's very much like a Barbie and Ken figure too. So, you know, just be careful of what you say about that stuff, because it might be somebody you know and care about that doesn't have parts. Why on earth is there a banana? Do these figures come from something? I don't know. There's no difference between these figures other than the color of their skin and their armor. Look, I've reviewed a lot of stuff on this channel, and this might be one of the most basic as far as like the paint apps and stuff. You're gonna follow the channel for a while, and maybe you're a collector. I mean, you're probably a collector while you're watching this video. But having figures with bodies and stuff, it opens up so many opportunities that you can like build customs and like whatever. So this will definitely have use cases in the future, most definitely. The only thing is like the stuff that's in here, very cheap looking. This is in there. Hope the 3D model file can bring you a better experience than the actual figure. I mean, there's a little bit of bad translation. I don't understand that. Also, I wouldn't just go to a random Google Drive file, even if it's from a company like this. It's like, no thanks. All right, let's just get into these weapons because they're so basic and boring. Ugh, look at the paint. The paint on these definitely beg to have some customization done. Like I want this thing to be a different color. I want that to be like a little emerald in there. Maybe this is gold and then this is silver, or this is wood and that's silver. So these are just like, this is very, very basic. Little disappointing. Same thing with the two swords, like the handles. It's like they made this thing with the intention of you just taking it for the extra stuff and then like go do a custom with it. Because look, there's no, but you're just gonna hold an entire iron sword or whatever swords are made from, steel, mithril. But this is, this should all be painted, different colors. This is really boring. The sculpt is pretty good. And then you have this bow, which is very cool with the sculpt. I dig the style. What's interesting is that this is cut out in here as if you could fold it down, but there are no hinges or anything, so I don't know what the point of that was. And then the worst part is that you got this quiver with arrows and they don't come out. There is look at that. So you have no arrows to put in her hand. What a weird thing. There's a little bit of extra paint here, so that's nice. Again, the sculpt seems pretty good, like this with the texture. A nanner, which has a nice paint with the green on the end. What is the deal here? I don't know. Plus, we got all these little bits and pieces. What are these? I don't know. These will hook onto the outfit somewhere. Maybe we'll figure it out. But this looks like it's going to hold a sword, like that. There we go. And then you just got a little hook on the back. So I'm sure these are gonna fall off very easily. We have two of those. Then we have a little pouch that you keep all your little fairy dust in, because these are fairy elves. You get two of those. And then you get this alternative design. Now I like this one, which you can do two swords at once, kind of Leonardo style from Ninja Turtles, if you've ever heard of those. And then, whoa, some kind of flask of ancient water for healing properties, or just a little bit of whiskey. And what's weird is like these actually have some paint on them. Anyway, moving on. We have alternate hair pieces and hands and all kinds of goodies. So where do we want to start? Let's just start here. This headpiece with this alternate hair. This is kind of a problem with the way they did the hair, because it wants to move a lot, but then also look at that. What a weird little gap. Definitely very toupee looking. The head that is on by default has some paint application, so the lips, the cheeks, the eyes. Again, it's like, what are these things going to mix with? If you have other stuff out there, like this lady, this Nicole Kidman elf, looks fantastic. This thing is a gorgeous piece of art. And then these are kind of like not as good as I thought they were gonna be. I think these will be best used as customs. I think they were pretty fair in the pricing, but I don't remember. Alternate head that's in the box is this one. So we have what? Everything is the same except for the cheek paint, like the war paint or whatever. Big ol' elf ears. And then we have these alternate hair pieces. So let's check. I mean, obviously you can go bald. It's a cool look. Alternate head with alternate hair setup. And I do think that's a better look because the hair just kind of lays over the head. You can't tell that it's a separate piece exactly. And same thing with this one. So this is certainly better by having the sculpt this way where it overlaps the skin and stuff. And there's no articulation in this hair piece, so don't try to twist it and snap it off. Paint looks pretty okay on the hair. Like there's a little bit of highlight going on, but not much. What else do we say? The hands that are on by default are just these. Oh my goodness, this head. That's a better setup. Anyway, I mean, it's just like so much blue. The hands that are on by default are just these open hands, kind of relaxed or whatever. Pretty basic, it's fine. The joints all feel pretty good, by the way. And much like that other elf, yeah, you could definitely remove all of these parts. So if you want to kind of mix and match your armor pieces, well, you can certainly do that. No one's going to tell you you can't. We also get some gripping hands in the box, which of course you need because we got some weapons that look like Dookie. But maybe if you're going to use these bodies as something else, then you know, having gripping hands is good. And then you get some, I don't know, clawing hands? Holding hands, like cupping something? We got them, okay? And you got some fists, which are, you know, pretty classic for punching people in their nards. It's an option. Also, this is the first time I've seen like a hand tree thing with a stand. The last set of hands are unique. So you got a peace sign and this kind of hand gesture or whatever. So this is like, I think the body is just like a completely generic set of stuff. And then somebody was like, well, let's just make something with it. So I'll be kind of not surprised if this body is available elsewhere as other figures or something. Maybe we should talk about this first. So we have armor on by default. The armor is a cool sculpt. I like that. The paint looks pretty neat, the emeralds and things. So yeah, I dig the armor setup. We have the pegs in the back, which would be ideal for like a stand, but hello, there is no stand. So why do we have that? Probably, I'm using my brain real quick. Okay, maybe not. For this, I guess? Whatever. This is softer, so it shouldn't stop too much with articulation, but there's no cut in the side, which could definitely help. And then the leg braces or boots or whatever look actually super cool. Well, I like that. There you go. Much like the other one, yes, you can mix and match and kind of build however you want, but yes, these are also included. And toe articulation, great. Love that. And toe articulation was on the shoe or boot version of that, which is cool. Also, the hole on the back is probably for the quiver now that I'm maximum idiot time. Or you could just do whatever you want, obviously, because there are no rules to this. You do whatever the heck you want, you make it up, and you have fun. Articulation is going to be really good, actually. So a lot like that other elf with like butterfly joints, or at least they appear to be, with great, arms can cross, rotation of the biceps, great double joints on the elbows, ball hinge. The armor obviously will stop a little bit of crunching, so comparing that to this one, it's about the same, so never mind. Not the armor's fault. Leans back really well, side to side is great. There is no hip rotation, as you can see, and then the legs go out into perfect splits, essentially. You got some rotation there, double jointed knees, and standard ball pegs for the ankles. Also, this would imply that we, have to fully remove these portions of the legs. There are plus and minuses to the set. The plus is it's very customizable. You could technically army build, I guess, in a way, by just mix and matching the armor. But then at that point, you have, everybody's got the same face. You can swap the hair pieces. If you get the lighter version, which is here, obviously there's a big difference in the color, a major difference between the skin tones. So yes, you could go mix and match. You could kind of build whatever you want. The differences in the armor colors are drastic. I actually really like these lighter colors. It's I don't know what it's reminding me of, but it's pretty sweet. Curious of what it all looks like if you swapped it all around. Just for the sake of comparison, the darker set here mixed with that actually looks really cool. You can see there's some differences in the colors, but fun. I mean, yeah, you could mix and match, you could swap things around. Sorry. Look, these are gonna be ideal for customs. Like I said, you're gonna wanna basically break these things down, use them for something else, but there's a lot of opportunities even as they are. So just building out a full army against a horde of things, buy a bunch of World of Warcraft or unofficial World of Warcraft figures, and just full out battle. Also height-wise, I mean, these really kind of run in line with that for sure. I mean, this is definitely a taller one, but it works. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see that other one get reviewed, then click the top link there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.